Hi, everyone. This is Lisa Brarely. Welcome to Soulmates and Suitcases. This is episode 36. We have an amazing guest today coming to you from Vegas. Exciting. Patti Stewart is going to join us today. And for those who are looking to find this episode, I know you're watching us, so hopefully you'll listen to the whole thing. However, if you're looking for other episodes of Soulmates and Suitcases, you'll find us on YouTube at the Brareleys, and as well on Spotify. You can look up Soulmates and Suitcases. So welcome, Patti. We're excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I mean, I read your bio and it's like, holy moly, this is so cool. I was telling some friends and family about you today before we got on, and it's like, wow, that's going to be a cool,
Well, thanks.
cool episode. So maybe start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, and why you're maybe excited to be on the podcast with us today.
Definitely. So, of course, my name is Patty. I run Defense and Heals, which is a women and children's self-defense company. And basically, what I'm doing is my mission is to change the crime stats. They're horrendous these days. And the more research we do, the worse they're getting. And it's really not that the world is worse, it's that we're actually finally starting to report things and that we're finally starting to say things. It's not like, when we grew up and you just threw everything under the rug and you don't talk about it. It's a family issue. Now we realize the long-term effects of holding on to that kind of thing and how it's like psychologically and physically really bad for you. So my goal, of course, is to change those crime stats, make it so no one else falls into those categories because I already fall into a couple of them, and protecting all of the women and children in our lives.
I love it. I love it. So what happened in your life that you kind of went that route? Like what was it? What was it?
So like I said, I fall into some of those crime stat categories, but that's not what changed the direction of my life or anything. Oddly enough, my brothers were getting Taekwondo belts growing up, and I could not let them beat me up. That was how it started. Like they could not be stronger than me. They could not have a higher belt than me, and they couldn't be better than me. I was the big sister. I am going to be the one that beats them up, not the other way around. That's how it started.
I love
And
it.
I
I
couldn't
love
let
it.
that go. Even as adults now, I can't let that go. Like I have to be that big sister, that big protector, that big everything. So even when, all those things happened to me, it wasn't that, those weren't my defining moments. It was beating up my brothers. That was the defining moment.
We all have some story. Like it has to come from somewhere.
That's actually
Exactly.
fun. It's funny because I'm the youngest and I feel the exact same way that you just said. My older siblings aren't going to beat me
No, and it's
in
it's hilarious
anything.
because
Yeah.
we're like, whatever, it's just a brother, but I can't let them beat me up.
There you go. There you go. My little story to that is I didn't do that, I need to come back and learn the self-defense. Mine was if I don't pay any attention, they'll just walk away. And that was my
Yeah.
self-defense. And it
And
worked.
I mean, that happens too.
But that's being a middle child.
Yes, there you go.
Yes. True. Isn't it kind of funny how we can like figure out who's the oldest, who's the
Yeah.
youngest, who's in the middle based off of how we react to things?
Yeah.
So true. So you had mentioned as well, and I kind of tweaked me as soon as you said you help women and children. Please tell me more about that. Tell our audience more about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, everybody needs to be able to protect themselves. But what I have done is specialize in like the woman's body and how it tweaks in self-defense and how it moves. Because our bodies are not the same. Like a female body and a male body is genetically, scientifically, all that stuff is not the same. So when we're doing the self-defense moves, even like the exact same jiu-jitsu move that a male would do and a female would do, our bodies maneuver differently. So I have studied the female version and the kid version on how to do them so that it's effective. Now, of course, there's a million ways to counter everything in any kind of self-defense stuff. But I have really honed in on, how the woman's hips twist and tweak and move to make it so that those moves are just as effective as the way that the males do it. And then same thing with the kids because they're itty bitties. So we need to figure out how to get that so that the moves work on them and tweak it so that they're able to still get out of those moves and protect themselves in an attack situation.
Oh, extremely interesting. So do the men feel left out?
In my world, no, but I think it's probably because I come from a feminine touch and they're like, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to beat up the pageant queen, but I do have a bunch of other, classes that we can put them in and training facilities and all that kind of stuff that they can go to. I just tell them, hey, like I don't work with dudes. I know, I know you're awesome. I want to work with your wife, not you.
Very good. And kids, for kids, boys and girls, or just the girls?
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
until they hit 12. And then that's when I'm like, no, your bodies are just so different because puberty, our bodies completely change. And so that's when I'm like, you really need somebody who specializes in your body once you hit puberty. So then that way you can really build your body in the way that you need to for those moves.
and you've instilled the kind of that mindset by the age of 12. Like if they've been doing it for a while with you, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's because, when they're younger too, we're not just teaching them the hands-on stuff. We're teaching them bully awareness and friendship drama, yo-yo friends and what to do with them. What's a good guy versus a bad guy? What is a stranger? Do you know this person? We do all that kind of stuff with
Oh,
the little kids
wow.
because that's all stuff that like we need to know, but it's not common knowledge anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole don't talk to strangers or that sort of thing, or that it needs to be updated. So that's kind of what
100%.
you're
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. Just like growing up, and they kept telling us, the DARE program, you're going to be offered drugs all the time. I have never been offered drugs. So I'm like, I have been instilled since I was a little kid to say no to drugs, but I've never been offered drugs. So we need to update this curriculum, make it a little more, what's going on in today's world kind of a thing.
Exactly. And you're all hands on in regards to you're doing it like in a real environment, not online.
Exactly. Yeah. We have training studios and facilities and even schools and whatnot that we'll teach the classes at. And then even when we're doing like the little kid classes, like we have our parents come in the class and help us be the bad guys. I need you to go in and, kidnap a kid. I need you to go in there. I mean, it's all pre-planned, of course. Um, or one of the things that we use a lot is the pool noodles to show kids distance and how much distance there should be between them and somebody they don't know. And then we'll bring in, a random dad or a random mom with some pool noodles and just have them walk up and start moving around with the pool noodles, see how close they can get to those kids so that the kids can visually see, holy crap, like 3 feet's not that far, or
Yeah.
6 feet's not that far, or look at how fast they can get to me, or I can get away.
Yeah, yeah. So what you mentioned a lot of things that you cover with them. Do you also like touch on mindsets
Oh,
specifically?
yes. So not as much with kids because that's more of a homework I give to the parents.
Mm.
I give them like a little workbook to work on their kids with. But when working with women and teens, 100%. Mindset is huge. And I even go into research. So one of my favorite research articles is about two boxers. And it is like guy A and guy B are the exact same strength, exact same point system. They are, perfectly aligned in their boxing experience. But they tell guy A, I want you to think that you're not going to win this fight, that you're going to suck and you're going to blow it. And then guy B, I want you to believe you're going to win this fight. And then go toe to toe. And they have learned that by believing in yourself, you make it out of the fight and you do 10 times better. So that's one of the things like I'll go over with the women and explaining that like confidence and believing in yourself is a big freaking deal. Like even
Hmm.
if you're like, oh, I'm old, I'm broken, I'm not going to do anything. By believing in yourself alone will get you through the fight.
Yeah, 100%. And having someone like yourself also believe in them. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's one of the first
Yeah.
steps, right?
Yeah, definitely. And we break that down during the class too. It's not like I say it once. I'll probably say it to you 10 times an hour. And then show you throughout that hour how you're developing and how you're growing and how you're getting better. And then even in my classes, like they beat up a bad guy during the class. So they get to see that these moves actually work. And then that confidence, like that little fire in their eyes when it clicks that they can do it, that's my high right there.
Is it an understanding that it's in their back pocket as a form of defense, or is it yes, right?
Yeah, so self-defense, like the hands-on stuff, is always your last go-to move. Paying attention and awareness is 90%. So you can, deflect pretty much any crime by just paying attention to what's going on. So we want you to know what to do in an attack situation, but I don't want you to actually have to do it. I want you to be able to stop it ahead of time or walk away ahead of time, call the police ahead of time, whatever you need to do so that you don't actually have to go through those moves.
Yeah, which is amazing. It's like any sort of tool or whatever in your back pocket, right? That you have that.
Exactly.
And do you also explore the area of nutrition and physical fitness and that sort of stuff in your?
I do. So I don't dive into it too much because those aren't my specialties. But of course, I, of course, work out and I eat healthy and all of that too. So I make sure, they do that too. And then I get them connected with resources if they don't already have those resources. There's tons of people out there that we can get them connected with to make sure that they're a full, well-rounded person.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Nowadays, I know I myself am in the classroom a lot as a teacher, and I do see a lot of students who are very dysregulated in their emotions and their feelings and that sort of thing. And maybe this is a sense of empowerment for them and in terms of where they can go and how they can handle, I guess, their emotions and feelings.
Definitely. And I mean, if nothing else, it's an hour and a half of burning out some energy. And we all need to burn some energy these days. We are all sitting still far too many hours a day, especially the itty bitties. They should not be sitting down for 6 hours a day. They need to burn that energy. They need to play. Just like we need to use our brain power and work out, they need to use their brain power and work out. So this definitely helps with that.
Well, not only that, I talk a lot about it because I believe our society has taken the confidence level of kids and squashed it down because all the stuff we used to get to do
1000%.
when we are kids, they're not
Hmm.
allowed to do any. And I'm
I
talking legal,
know.
normal, like just and but what you're doing helps build confidence in them, and that's the coolest thing because if a kid has confidence,
They can do
doesn't even
anything.
have to have huge confidence, just enough. They can go
Exactly.
anywhere they want to go.
Exactly. And that's what will help us in the long term is bringing
100.
that back,
Yep.
bringing the ropes back into the schools, letting these kids freaking ride it all the way up to the roof and, run around and scream. That's what they're supposed to do as kids. And then it helps them to develop their lungs. It helps them to develop their muscles, which makes them overall stronger. We need to bring all of that back.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and it spills out, like Scott was saying, spills out into so many areas of their life
Hmm.
that we don't even know, I think, in some ways, how much it does, right?
Like we go to Thailand every year and it's amazing watching the young kids. You'll see somebody 10 riding a scooter.
Oh, I know. Whereas here, they're like, "Oh no, you need a
Yeah.
helmet, you need gloves."
Yeah.
We're like, "No, just let them roll it off. Let it get a little dirt, spread some dirt in the wound, they'll be okay."
Exactly, exactly. And so, how long have you been doing this? And what sort of feedback are you getting from your clients? And yeah, that sort of thing.
Definitely. So I've been doing it for about at least 15 years now. Long time. Uh, and it's always fun to see like the different generations of people and how, because now I have moms coming back with their kids and their itty
Oh,
bitties. Um,
nice.
I know, I love it. Or seeing them, when they were super, super young and now they're young moms, bringing their kids in to do the classes as well. And just seeing that character development in them and that confidence instilled in them from the little bitties, then watching them turn into teenagers and then turn into adults. Same thing, the women, and just watching that confidence rise when they all think that they can't do what they're, being taught. And then all of a sudden they figure it out, they see it, they watch us explain it to them. And then they talk about it, how, it built them up and how they can take on more in the world and how they see themselves better just by one little class or 5 classes, depending on what, they're taking or doing.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, I was going to ask you that. How many classes do they take? And I was also going to ask you if someone, a woman or a child, has physical challenges, something that not, an able bodied person typically has, how do you look at that and how do they enter your class?
Definitely. So the way my classes are designed, it's once a quarter. So you only need to come 4 times a year, and it's 3 hours each time. And the reason being is our brains can't handle more than 3 hours of information. We shut down. That's just what science research says. So I don't do more than 3 hours. But we teach you only what you need to know in that situation. So it's things like the rape position, the chokeholds, that kind of stuff. Not stand here, turn here, twist here. Like that kind of stuff is not relevant in an attack situation. So we teach you the attack modes and out. And then when they have those different limitations to their bodies, what we do is in that moment of the class is when we work on it with them, which is why we don't do, 500 people classes. We have smaller classes because we want that one-on-one connection to help tweak your body in ways to make it work more effectively for your body, which is also why we don't teach online. Because I can't look through a video and see exactly how you're twisting and how, if your hip's twisted this way, how's your ankle twisted? I can't see that on a Zoom call, but I can in real life, which is why I do everything in life. And I say you need to do those hands-on classes in real life with somebody who understands, hey, I've got limitations here. I've got limitations here. And I also break it down too, because I'm like, I've blown every joint you can. So I tell them, hey, this is how a normal person stand up. However, I blew out my knee last year. So let me show you how I stand up now. And then I'll explain the differences and then show them, which one and let them kind of pick which one works better for their body so that we can do all of those moves with their limitations and it not stopping them or withholding them from anything.
Yeah. And like you said, a lot is mindset. So I'm being
Mhm.
aware. So as long as that is there as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. When I was reading your bio, like the array of things that you had in your past, like the whole like modeling and public
Yeah.
speaker and former Mrs. Nevada. Tell us a little bit about this.
I have done a few things in life. Yeah, so when I was younger, I modeled. I did the whole runway thing. When you're a size 2, you can do that. I am no longer a size 2, so I can't. Um, my daughter is now, though, so she gets to follow in that footsteps. And then I did the whole beauty queen pageant mom thing. I made it to Mrs. Nevada. So I loved it. I mean, who doesn't love an excuse to wear some pretty heels, a nice fancy dress, and have people tell you you look pretty?
Yes. So is that where the name of your company came from? Was that the inspiration?
It was definitely part of it. That and living in Vegas, where we're all in heels every day, all day. And I do work a lot with models and pageant girls because they need to protect themselves while they're out doing appearances and while they're out with the crowd. And people are freaks these days. So we need to keep those girls safe when they're just trying to get out there and do community involvement. And then they have Mr. Creeper that won't leave them alone.
Yeah. Yeah. You, I have the feeling you may experience that more in US than in Canada. However, I'm not sure on the stats.
Do you
Yeah,
think it's
definitely a lot more in the US.
do you think it's just today, or do you think it's always been that way and it's just coming out more now?
I think that we definitely have the social media play into it. So I think it's always been there, but just
Yeah,
like, in the 1800s when something happened in the news, it had to go from newspaper to newspaper to newspaper and it took
yeah,
forever for the news. We get news and updates seconds now. So I
yeah,
think that plays a large role in it. We also have those kids and women who want that instant validation and don't have any internal validation. And so they're posting everything and doing everything to get that external validation from everyone else, as opposed to, working on themselves and getting some internal validation.
Yes, I assume possibly a good portion maybe of the ladies that take your course may feel some triggers going on when they're taking your course just from
Yes.
their past experiences or if they've had traumatic experiences in the past. And maybe how do you look at that in regards to what do you offer for ideas for them?
Yeah. So I have a lot of gals who we say are survivors. Victim it's a harsh word. So we say
yes,
survivors. And they are survivors. Even if it was just something was a close call, you still survived.
yeah.
So I always start with the class with explaining, hey, if you're not comfortable with anything, don't do it. Like, hey, can you record it for me though? Like, can you take some pictures for me? Can you be my social media person? Um, because, one, I'm going to be teaching and I'll forget, but two, I don't want them to feel like just because they can't do something in that moment that they shouldn't be there.
Yes.
For example, anytime we go into the chokes, I hate my neck touched. And it's because I have experiences with being choked. So if I go to somebody else's class, I won't do the choke part. And I always tell these girls that, like, hey, if there's at any point that you're not comfortable, you don't even have to say anything. Just don't do it. But if there's ever a time when you're like, hey, I'm ready, something happened and I'm ready, but I'm not ready. Like, put me in, coach, but don't put me in. I always tell them too, like, we are here to support you and we will help you with that any step of the way. So, for example, I had a gal in a class a couple months ago. We were doing the rape position with a choke. And so they're on top of you, choking you. And she breaks down crying. So of course we freeze the whole thing. Hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, no, I'm actually great. She's like, this is the exact thing that happened to me. And I've been in therapy for 10 years and I've never had somebody on top of me since then. I have never put myself in a situation to grow. I've never, been comfortable. And she was like, right now with all of you women, I feel confident and comfortable enough to try this. She's like, I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to cry. And she's like, I honestly, she's like, can you do like one part at a time and then freeze? Because I'm going to freak out, but I want to do it. And then it was one of those, like everybody in the class like ran up to her and hugged her and yay. And then she did it. I mean, it took her probably 10 minutes to do something that would have taken 45 seconds, but she worked through it.
Did it.
And then at the end, it was like those really good, beautiful cries because you could just see all of that pain that she had been holding on to for years just dissipating. And she felt like $1,000,000 after that. And it was just great. So we always tweak it and explain things like that to them. And I'll bring these examples in too, because there's nothing I haven't seen or heard. And so there's not like they can scare me. It's I'm here to help you. I'm here to make you grow. I'm here to develop you further. Let's do this all together.
Yeah. And you said you bring some humor into it sometimes, you bring that laughter. And I think it's this, just even as you tell the story, I can feel the release that that lady would have had. And that is what, those sort of situations, I think, reminds the women and the children that life is a journey, right? And
Yeah.
and everyone goes through their own journey, and they're in the right place at the right time,
Exactly.
whatever that means for them, right?
Yeah. And that's just it. It's so different for everybody in every moment of every day too. So it's not like we can predict any of this is going to happen. She just happened to be ready in that moment. And I mean, she brought healing to other people too that didn't know that they needed it just because they needed somebody else to say it because, they weren't going to say it. I've definitely been in classes where I'm not going to speak up, and she was the one that did that time.
Yeah, it's beautiful when someone does that because it gives permission to other people to feel and speak.
Exactly. Yes. And we need that permission from time to time. Like we can't all be loudmouths and just say everything all the time. Like sometimes we need somebody to like be the one that kind of pushes us.
Yep, exactly. I see Scott smiling there. He does that sometimes.
I I got emotional when you were saying that. Like it just made me happy.
Oh, good. It's great. I've talked to her since the class too, and she feels so like literally you can see the weight off of her shoulders. It's
Yeah.
amazing because she is a completely different person now. And just because she was willing to do it, she was willing to have the bad guy on top of her and to try those things that were done against her.
And the huge part of being in a safe place and
Yes.
safe.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, that's so amazing. So amazing. So, Patti, we're kind of coming to the end of our show here. Where can your future clients find you? Where can all those kids find you?
Definitely. So always check me out on social media and the website, Defense and Heals. And we have awesome tips and tricks that we keep posting to social media now. I do have a self-defense book out there as well, 5 Steps to Staying Safe Forever. And you can find that on Amazon.
Perfect. And it's Patti Stewart, Stewart, right?
Correct.
You got that right. So thank you so much, Patti. We appreciate your time with us, and what an amazing program you have. And for those viewers who are listening or watching, Soulmates and Suitcases, like I said, on YouTube and Spotify. And we would love to have your comments. Maybe reach out to Patti as well. You can tag her in any of this and she'll answer your questions. And we would love for you to share our podcast because we've had some amazing people just like Patti on, and excited to share other people's stories. And thank you again, Patti.
Definitely. Thanks for having
Thanks,
me.
Patty.
All right.
Thanks.
What an inspirational lady.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very much so. I can just
I know.
your smile lights up the room.
Oh, thank you. I
Really.
like what I do.
Yeah, exactly. When you love what you do, it shows, right? And I want to tell you, while I was sitting here, I almost had to stare away from the computer because a rainbow just came up right behind my computer. So
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
I had to share that with you. So if you saw me looking up for a minute,
I love it.
I have a nine picture window out right in front of behind my camera or behind.
That's cool.
So yeah.
I have a blue wall and lighting.
Thank you so much again. Appreciate it. And
Thanks again.
I'll
Definitely.